Alright, so this is my review of Getsu Fuma and Getsu Rando from Storm Collectibles. And I got Getsu Fuma, this guy, a while back, but I just wanted to wait and review them both at the same time since they're both from the same game, essentially. And they just look better next to each other, honestly. So, it's based on the game Getsu Fuma Den on Steam. Pretty fun game if you want to try it. I think they're starting to go out of stock, so if you are interested in them, they're very obscure characters and probably wouldn't wait too long to get them. I believe they're both in stock on Big Bad Toy Store. I know that's where I got him most recently from, so if you want to get them, you can still find them. Okay, so let's just go straight into the review, and we'll start with Fuma. And Getsu is just the clan that they're from, so it's not really like, I guess it's part of their name, but we'll start with Fuma. So he's the younger brother, and let's start with the aesthetics. So, and we'll get the spear out of his hand. We'll come back to these accessories later. So, very clean, as usual, from Storm Collectibles. Face is just dead on accurate to the game and the art. Very nice metallic paint on the armor. Just detail, just really pouring out like everywhere. Very clean paint everywhere, like on his armor. Details on the armor look great. Color separation is good. No real smudging, nothing like that. Very sharp sculpt too. Like you can see the individual little concentric lines and things like that. Looks great. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, he looks amazing. He's accurate to the game. So my only complaint is he's a little lanky looking. I don't believe he was this kind of tall looking in the game. But aside from that, I think he looks good. So I'd give him a 4.5. And let's just do each category. So let's do Rando next. And let me just get this out of his hand. So Rando looks equally good, but now I do have one very, very big problem with him. So he looks great. But if you play the game, you'd know he doesn't quite look like this. And let me actually just get the box just to show you what his face should look like. And, you know, so I wonder if it's coincidence or not, but this guy looks exactly like Virgil from Devil May Cry. So he looks very young here. So this looks like literally like Devil May Cry 3 Virgil, but that's not what he's supposed to look like. And let me just get the box. That's what his face is supposed to look like. So significantly older looking. And he is the older brother, and I thought in the game he looked badass like this, because you could tell he's seen some like shit. Like he's got the aging lines and things like that. And he also just looks, let me just move these two away. He just generally looks more kind of muscular, like wider shoulders. He really fills the armor out a bit more. So that's a big problem for me. While the figure looks great and like really good, as in like exceptional, it's a problem when it's not accurate to, you know, the character you're basing it on. So looks great, but doesn't look like the in-game character. Like this, he doesn't look that much older, if at all, based on the figure. So, all right. But aside from that, gorgeous armor, even more than I'd say Fuma. So I think Rando's armor just really just sticks out. And again, just stunningly gorgeous. And, you know, this is Storm Collectibles, so really expect nothing less. Really just sticks out when he's just standing there. Because of the kind of inaccuracy issue, I'd give him a 4.2 for aesthetics. So Fuma 4.5, he gets a 4.2. To their credit, I think Rando is appropriately taller than Fuma, like he's supposed to be, but barely, if at all. Just a smidgen. But yeah, that's one thing to note also. And before I forget, let's just get a measurement on both of them while they're standing here like this. And they're Storm Collectibles, so they're significantly tall compared to like your average 1/12 figure. Storm Collectibles are not 1/12. I think in the beginning they started advertising themselves like that, but definitely not. Okay, so Rando's like 7.5 inches to the top of his head, not counting his hair. And let's see, Fuma, around the same, just slightly a touch under. So like he's like 7 3/16 or something like that. So a touch under, which is accurate. He's supposed to be shorter. Okay, and let's weigh them too. And I'll tell you right now, they both feel like bricks in the hand. Just get this scale out here. Let's just do Rando first. Very heavy, so 8 ounces. So he's basically half a pound. Let's see, Fuma, a little bit lighter, 6.2 ounces. So it's definitely the armor. Rando's armor is just absolutely beefy. It's monstrous. But they both feel very premium, not cheap plastic. Like, they definitely have presence to them. Okay, so let's go straight into articulation and just follow in the same format. Let's do Fuma first. And let's start with the head. So head's on a, Storm uses a ball joint, double ball joint for the head. Other one's inside the neck, which you can't see. It works generally very well. And you can see that he looks down exceptionally well. And, don't be afraid to push your Storm figures. Like, I know for a fact they're pretty good quality. Like, don't go crazy, but like, don't be afraid. Like, you'll hear a squeak. And I just call that the Storm squeak. It's normal. So don't be afraid to push them a little bit. But, be mindful. These are toys. So if you have like gorilla, man-ape strength, just tone it down a bit. But don't be afraid to, pose them. Okay, so arms go out that much. Shoulder armor bricks that off a little bit. Right arm goes a little bit higher. You do get a butterfly joint. Works pretty well. You do get an upper diaphragm. A little tricky using it. Just, kind of pinch in here. And, be mindful. It's a softer plastic, but it works generally well. Okay, and you do get a lower diaphragm too. Just a ball joint. That works very well. And very nice double joint on the elbows. Wrists, typical ball swivel, nothing new there. Legs, and very nice work with the soft plastics here because they really don't get in the way at all. So you could literally full split this guy. Be careful, I'm always a little paranoid with these soft diapers. I wish everyone would kind of stop using these, but I get it. Storm is not like McFarlane. Like, they do it pretty well. Like, it doesn't get in the way as much. See, like, that goes up without too much problem, but it is getting in the way a little bit. So, not a fan of diapers on the figures. I just prefer plastic, like Figuarts does it. I will mention, it's a very nice, soft plastic Storm uses. It's like clothing for action figures the way I like. Like, I hate the fabrics on figures. I know that's controversial to say, but yeah, I hate fabrics on figures for the most part. Like, there are exceptions, but I think this is kind of what I like this kind of simulated clothing with very soft plastic. Looks better, and it does not get in the way of articulation. So for people who think fabric is the way to go for articulation, it is. It works pretty well, but this does too. So, okay, now this is just awkward. Like, I don't think human legs work like this. This was just so awkward, and I feel like they could have done this better. That's just downright like creepy. Like, human legs don't do that. Okay, I mean, you can get them in stances and things, but that's an issue. Ankles, ball swivel. You do get an ankle rocker too. Works well. No real complaints there. So, his articulation, I'll give him a 4.5, just because, you know, for me at least, yeah, you could get him into some nice wide stances. And again, you'll hear the squeak. And he'll do what you need to do. Like, you can get him in like a sword holding stance and decently deep stances. So while it does look kind of strange, it's not like egregiously so. So you can easily get him to do what you want him to do. And that's with very little effort. Okay, so yeah, he looks good. So I'll give him a 4.5. Okay, and let's do Rando next. Just leave Fuma like that. Okay, so same kind of deal. And very nice kind of system going on with the head there. Double ball joint, dumbbell joint, I guess they call it. Works just as well. Nothing really different from Fuma. Very nicely done with the shoulders. So Storm figured it out with like the getting the armor out of the way and preserving the articulation still. Very soft, floating shoulders. Does not get in the way of articulation. Again, double jointed arms, double jointed elbows. You do get a butterfly joint, just kind of hard to use it because of this gigantic kind of chest armor. So really can't do that, but that is what it is. So just based on the design of the armor. Wrists are just on typical ball swivel. Same issue, same deal as Fuma. You do get an upper diaphragm. Now, okay, this kind of freaks me out. Like, this makes a very hard clicking noise when I rotate the upper diaphragm, so I'm not going to do it again. That's generally not good on a figure, so I'm not going to push that. I hope yours doesn't come like that, but he does have an upper diaphragm joint in there. So lower, same thing. He's on a kind of, it doesn't really work too well. But it's there, so you can finagle with that. Okay. Legs are disappointing, just because they could have easily just put a cut in here, and this is relatively thick. I wish they just put a cut here, something. Use the thinner plastic like they did for Fuma, because his legs are just bricked off. Like, you really can't do a whole lot with them. See, and then you can't. That's really it. And he's got the same weird knees as, like, Storm has to stop doing that. Like, it's just ugly. Like, you know, make the knee bend where it's supposed to anatomically bend. Otherwise, it just looks strange. So his articulation is significantly worse than Fuma's. Significantly. So I'll give him a 3.5. So the legs are what killed it. Very poor articulation. For this price, got to do better than that. So no good there. And Fuma's articulation is not the greatest. And you know what? I'm not going to be too nice with this. So Fuma is going to get a little drop in his rating. Let's bring him down to 4. Okay, and I'm just going to, because those calves are just unforgivably ugly. I'm just looking at him now. So let's drop his score down to 4. 4.5 is too generous. So with articulation out of the way, and, you know, just on like the kind of like engineering note, like how well they're made. Yeah, they're very well made. Like, they don't feel like cheap toys. Like, they're not going to break on you. Okay, that was just perfectly timed, but it's not broken. It's just popped out of the ball joint. Let's continue. And where were we? We just did articulation and engineering. Let's go straight into their accessories. So let's start with Fuma. And we'll do the boring part first, just their hands. I'll just show you what hands he comes with. And, you know, hands take forever to show. So I'm just going to do it like this because hands are so boring. There. Okay, so he gets an open hand. Looks like that. Gets kind of like a claw hand. Going to hold another one of your figures' skulls or whatever. Just gets a generic open hand. And a pair of those. Get a sword holding hand. Again, very clean paint on all these too. Another open hand, fist. Okay, so you do get those, and that's it. So you get a full set of hands. Does what you need them to do. Now let's look at the more interesting part, his weapons. And if you played the game, you'd have a more kind of special connection to this. Comes with this spear. Very fun in the game to use this. And this is really what makes them kind of worth it. The fact that Storm charges a little bit more, I don't mind because they give just exceptional accessories. Another spear, more powerful one. I forgot what this was called in the game, like Beast Slayer Spear or something. My personal favorite in the game, Suigetsu, the Enchanted Blade, and that's just stunning. Incredible. So he comes with that. And I don't know about you, but like I use my accessories with other figures too. I just keep them in a giant box. Fun to just mix and match them. I forgot the name of this one. Just a generic katana. Just your generic starting weapon in the game, nameless katana. Looks great. And the last one that he comes with, a set of the bladed tonfas, they call them. Okay, so accessories, easy 5 out of 5 for Fuma. Nothing more you could ask for. Just comes with a full set. There's way more weapons in the game, but you can't honestly expect him to do all of them. Okay, now let's do Rando. Okay, and I don't know the names of his weapons because you don't play as him, but this just kills all of Fuma's. Like this is just sick. Let me just get this out of here. I don't know the name of this. It's some kind of like Odachi or whatever the hell it is, but absolutely stunning. I've never seen a figure accessory, even on freaking like 1/6 scale. And let me just get this closer. Even the sheath has like markings on it. I've never seen this level of detail on any action figure accessory. And if you think that looks good, just let me take it out of the sheath. I was staring at this for like a good 15-20 minutes. That's just sick. That's just like hellishly sick. That's just amazing. Now, one thing I will note that kind of sucks is mine had a chip on it. Don't like that, but I could easily paint that in later. Okay, but other than that, just gorgeous metallics on that sword, and looks great. Okay. Oddly enough, I don't remember Rando using this in the game. He's just like a boss. Comes with this mace. Feels a little thin, but not cheap, just kind of thin. Be careful, very sharp. So don't shank yourself on that. Never saw him using this. He might have, honestly, it was just so fast-paced, like I probably didn't pay attention, but he comes with his own kind of creepy demon-looking spear. Very nice. And I do like Rando's accessories more, just from an aesthetics standpoint. They look just badass. He comes with a pair of these, like, sick as hell. Some demonic dual-wielding swords. Amazing. Storm is just, it's just so worth it, because they spoil us with the accessories. And, not really spoiling, we deserve it, right? But, again, no clue what this is called. All I know is it looks good. So you get this too. There's more, so I mean, endless accessories. This. No clue what it's called. And these also. Very cool. So this is worth it. And you know, if you're gonna push the prices of toys up to like 100 and plus, like these two, yeah, give us stuff that makes it worth it. And I think Storm definitely does that. And okay, just because, let's go over his hands also. Same deal, not gonna spend too much time, but I'll show you what he comes with. So, comes with a hand that could hold his kind of scabbard there. Two of them. Get a fist. Okay. Get a generic kind of open hand. And you get an open, kind of like karate chop, open palm, extended hand. Get two weapon holding hands. Very nice thing about Storm Collectibles is their hands are kind of like a soft plastic, so they bend very easily. And they hold on to the accessories very well. So they really did well with these. Like there's some figures like the fitting is just terrible. But Storm did a very nice job with theirs. So very well done there. Okay, so with that in mind, let's just kind of finish up this review. And let's see, are these two worth it? Let's just talk about their value at the same time. Oh, and for Rando accessories, give them a 4.5. Why 4.5? Just because that chip on the sword kind of sucks. Wish it wasn't there. So overall value, Fuma definitely gets a 4.5. No real complaints there. Rando a little lower, 4.2, mainly because he doesn't look like the way he's supposed to in the game. So that really bummed me out. He's supposed to look a lot older than this. Like, all right, whoa, okay. I'm standing like a sad sack. Let's get him to actually look at the camera. You get a hold of yourself. Okay, all right. So, gorgeous figures, like just, they're just stunning. So, 4.2 for Rando. Definitely an excellent value. Just, you know, doesn't look like he's supposed to in the game. Fuma 4.5. No real complaints. Just looks a bit lanky. And their articulation's kind of crappy, both of them, but not egregiously bad. Just you'd expect way more at this price point. So Fuma's overall rating is a 4.23, just combining everything together. And Rando's a 3.97. Could have been pushing right into a 5-star rating, but the articulation really killed them both. And Rando's likeness issue. But other than that, if you play the game, get these because they're going to probably sell out and good luck finding them. Storm shoot up in price. Even if you didn't play the game and you think these look good, yeah, go ahead and grab them. They're definitely worth it. The accessories are just insane. And let me just show you. Accessories are literally just sitting there. That's just insane. All right, so if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments. And feel free to subscribe. I post kind of sporadically just because not a whole lot of time these days, but I'm still around, so expect more reviews. All right, so take care.